All right, folks, I'd like you to watch this video if you need help with like parts B, C, and D. I think we've made the vertex part, or we've gone over it several times. I may not have made it clear yet, but I hope I will if I haven't yet on this attempt. There's a couple different ways to find the vertex. One is the completing the square method, right? So I'll show that to you real quick. What we want to do is we want to leave like a little blank right here, and we want to bump the 21 or the negative 21 out after the blank. Then you take half the middle term's coefficient, so take half of 4, and then you want to square that too, and we're going to put a plus 4 here. Now I've just added 4 to the equation, so I have to subtract 4 to keep it the same equation. It's just going to look different, right? The equation is going to be in what's called vertex form. So we can easily see the vertex has been shifted 2 to the left and 25 down, right? So vertex is at -2, -25. Very doable process right there, but there is another way of doing it. You could find the axis of symmetry by going the opposite of B over 2A, and then you don't have to do this add 4 business, all that stuff. So the B value is 4 and the A value is 1 because there's a 1 in front of the x squared, and here's the B value right there, right? So if I go -4 all divided by 2 times 1, right, I get -4 divided by 2, I get -2. See, there's my x component right there for the vertex. Now I'm going to go f of -2, and I end up with -2 squared plus 4 times -2 minus 21. That comes out to be -25. You can see that right there. All right. I hope I've made part A clear. Now it says, what are the x-intercepts? Okay, so let's see here. X-intercepts would be, I'm sitting on the x-axis. That's when the y value is 0, right? So if I'm looking for an x-intercept, the y value is 0. I just need to find the x value. So I'm going to replace f of x right over here with 0, or like right there, you could imagine it happening. And I get 0 is equal to x plus 2 quantity squared minus 25. If I add 25 to both sides, and then I take the square root of both sides, all right, let me just put this in red. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. This is kind of a tricky part of the problem, because when you do that, you get plus or minus 5. Okay, I don't want to scroll down. I'm just going to put it right up here. I get plus or minus 5 is equal to x plus 2. See, there's two numbers that could be sitting in these parentheses right here that when I square it and I subtract 25 from it, I get 0. One of the numbers that could be sitting inside the parentheses would be -5. Another number would be +5, right? If you square either one of those two numbers, you're going to get a 25 sitting right there. 25 minus 25 is 0. So, I mean, you could just do a look inside technique. How could we get +5 sitting here? Well, there'd be a 3 there, right? So watch this. When I subtract 2 from both sides, I'm going to subtract 2 from the +5, and I get 3 for one of my answers. But if I subtract 2 from the -5, I get -7 for one of my answers, right? So there's two x-intercepts that are going to happen. We could have negative. I'm putting the wrong number there. We could have -7 for one of our answers, or we could have 3 for one of our answers for the x-intercept. There's two possible answers. Probably not a good idea to write it like I just did. You probably want two separate, ordered pairs. I wouldn't put it as one ordered pair looking like this. This looks a little funky. But if I saw your work over here, man, that's beautiful. I think you're fine. All right, so let's see. How are we going to do this next part? How are we going to solve for when y is equal to -21? Okay, so let's see here. Part C, I would set -21 equal to x plus 2 squared minus 25. Now, this just came across my mind. Like, what if you're not one of these complete the square kind of people? You're one of these opposite of b over 2a. Well, it's still doable, maybe I'll show you both techniques. I don't know if it's totally necessary, but this, when you have the completed square, it's really easy because you just add 25 to both sides, right? So I'm adding 25 and I get a 4 here. So I've got x plus 2 quantity squared equals 4. Now remember how we took the square root of both sides and I got a plus or minus 5? Well, right here when I take the square root of both sides, I'm going to get a plus or minus 2. And let's see, if I subtract 2 from both sides, right here, if I subtract 2, now I'm subtracting 2 from positive 2, I get x equals 0. If I subtract 2 from negative 2, I get x equals negative 4. See, there's two x values that would have a y value of negative 21. So maybe we want to write the ordered pairs to make it really look like we know what we're doing. Boy, I hope I'm making that clear on part C. Okay. Part D says use the information attained to make a graph. Okay, all right. Let's see here. How about this little software program? I think I can make a nice axis over here. Let's see. There's my y-axis. Here's oh boy, I switched off my pro. Oh, that's convenient. And then there's my x-axis. Oh yeah, my vertex is at -2, -25. So maybe I'll just move this dude up and really kind of focus on the third quadrant down here. Let's say I put -2, -25 right there, and then it might be kind of easy. Let me think here for a second. We do have a vertical stretch of 1, like a standard, y equals x squared type parabola here. So if I go over 1, I would go up 1, and let's say it's like right here, that's where -24 would be. So this was -25 down here, right? If I go over 2, I should go up 4, -23. Oh boy, my scale looks terrible. -22, -21. I suppose what we could do is we could say, hey, there's like a little break in our y-axis here. Like we're going to go from like -1 to like, I don't know, -12 or -15, let's say. There's like a break right there because there's no way we're going to get by this scale. Is it going to get us to 0 by that point, right? Okay, anyways, here is my y-intercept. Hey, look at that, 0, -21. That's my y-intercept. And then there's this axis of symmetry. So if I just go 2 to the left of our axis of symmetry, this would be -4, -21, right? So let's put another point on there, right there for that symmetric point. And then let's see if we can just connect them, and make our parabola look like that. So this is going to be a no tech question, and you got to be careful. Like if there's a 2 in front of your x squared, we would be going over 1 and then up 2, and we'd be going over 2 and up 8, just twice what I just did, right? If there was a vertical stretch of 2 in front of that. So I want you to practice number 9 on the computer. I think number 9 from the homework review is just like this problem, and see if you can do it without any technology, without looking at Desmos or anything like that, all right? Well, thanks for watching the video. I hope that helped.